5 years old, I graduated in the class of 2003 at Commandment Schools. If I had not been there, I would have been here. I would have graduated as a Trojan. So, like you heard from Daniel, I am a female-to-male transsexual, which means I spent most of Kamala's life being her sister, but for the last 6 months or so, I've been her brother. Currently, I am 4 months on testosterone, so my voice has dropped quite a bit, some facial hair and overall hairiness going on. Yeah, actually, I can show you guys a picture. Send you guys a picture of me from my high school senior yearbook. Take a fast look through that, and you guys can pass it around if you want. I should have bookmarked the page. So my first name was actually Chrissy. I just got it recently changed, and yeah, so I think it just showed up in the paper on Saturday, and I will start changing my paperwork so it'll reflect my new name change. Okay, so you guys are pretty with it. There's a big crowd of you. That's awesome. So I think you guys have a general idea of what the difference between sex, gender identity, and sexual orientation is. But just so we're all on the same page. So sex is usually your birth or what you were assigned to at birth, so as male or female. A lot of times people will mix gender and sex up because most people who are born male, they feel male. Most people are born female, they feel female, they associate themselves as feminine or whatever. But clearly, a lot of you have, know people or are yourselves, find yourselves somewhere in between masculine or feminine tendencies. So gender is really how you feel on the inside as whether being female or male or androgynous or genderqueer or something in between. Sexual orientation, now so sex and gender is about yourself. Sexual orientation is about who you're attracted to, who you want to be intimate with, who want your life partners to be. So that can be a man or woman or somewhere in between. So, I came out as a lesbian when I was 19, but I had liked girls ever since the first grade. But coming out as a lesbian was weird for me because in my mind, when I dated girls, I felt more I felt more like a boyfriend than a girlfriend. So it was really an unnecessary closet for me to come out of because it was the only language at the time that I understood. But maybe like the last 2 or 3 years, I was doing this research about why was it that I felt horrible inside. Like I was a tomboy ever since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I hated dresses. I didn't like just like typical girly stuff. I liked Transformers. I liked G.I. Joes. I watched anime. Dragon Ball Z was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big geeky gamer. I'm still playing Halo right now. So
yes.
We
play Halo together.
Yes. But so I had all these things that weren't typically girly, and as a kid, it's okay. Like boys, girls, they can do, they can get away with gender messing up. But once puberty hits, then people tend to grow out of it, and they grow into the wearing dresses, wearing stuff. Like a lot of you had seen my picture in the senior yearbook. I hated that picture. I only did it mainly because my mom, or Kamala's mom, said, oh, this is your senior picture, you need to look really good. And so put on the makeup, put on the smile, and even inside I felt like crap. It's at prom, it's pictures of me in dresses, and all I wanted to do was wear a damn tux. So it's but I was so scared to tell people that because most times they'll think I'm just crazy. And it really after high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so it didn't make sense for me to go to college.
Bye, Nick.
And study and not know what I want to do. And for the longest time, even up until now, it's I felt like I was holding myself back because I didn't know who I was, and I couldn't. It's like, why go anywhere in my life if I don't know where I want to be or who I am? And so that's pretty much the sum of leading up till now. So, do folks have any questions?
What's your current job? Hi. Maybe you should raise my hand.
Yes, I know. I've known Katie and Jill since they were like yay big.
I know.
They were like babies.
We haven't changed all that much, but
yeah, I work.
still the same size.
I work in Waiho at the Kimmel Farms. It's a simple job, just because my parents don't are not paying for my college, so I'm trying to do it myself. You know, applying for scholarships and whatnot. So if you folks have parents that are willing to help you, take advantage of it, but don't like step on them because they're awesome. So yeah. Any other questions? Sure.
Are your parents supportive of you?
I came out to my dad maybe like a couple of months ago. My stepmother, Kamu's mom, she's been great. I haven't seen her lately, but I talk on Facebook and she's very supportive. My mom, on the other hand, is a little in denial. She's kind of convinced I'm still just a butch lesbian, even though my voice has dropped quite a lot. And my dad, I live with him still, so he's adjusting, but it's kind of like it feels like a kind of a don't ask him kind of policy, where as long as I do my own thing and he does his own thing, we're cool. But he's already had trouble, like, he has not used Cyrus at all. He still uses Chrissy, or he hasn't even dropped the Chris yet. But, you know, parents are harder because, you know, you're born from them, you came out and they've seen you from diaper time all the way till now. It's a harder adjustment to make. So I'm just trying to be patient, but at the same time I wish, you know, they would understand that this makes me happy. Like, I am happier now. Even when I finally did come out to him, he expressed that the last 2 or 3 years, he said that I was so depressed, like moody and withdrawn. He was worried that he would come home one day and find me hanging from the ceiling. And thankfully, I've never like thought about something like that. But there's depressions that, you know, there were moments where I felt like really down. Like, if I didn't love life and living so much, I probably could have considered something like that. But I'm stubborn. like I think my life is worth living, so why waste it, you know? So, yeah. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Does being a transsexual carry any risks?
Okay, so I'm taking testosterone. For male to female, they take estrogen. So, yeah, there is definitely medical risk involved. Because testosterone is a predominantly male hormone. Part of the changes, you know, the good stuff for me, my voice drops, my facial structure changes to a more masculine appearance, body hair, facial hair, whatever. But it also increases, one of the side effects I'm not looking forward to is male pattern balding. So, like, the males in my family, if they have a history of receding hairlines or whatever, chances of that happening. I think there's also a risk of increased blood clotting and cardiovascular. It's actually because genetically speaking, men don't live as long as women. So it's in another way to think about it, because becoming a man, like, I'm almost like cutting my life expectancy shorter. But I would rather, I would rather die a happy 75-year-old man than live to be a 100-year-old cranky, bitter, self-hating old woman. So there is risk. Like, I should have like wrote them all down, but for male to female, after years of estrogen, they can develop breasts, but for them sometimes it takes like 10 to 15 years. So a lot of them, they will opt to have their breasts done. Like, they'll get boob implants. For most trans guys, it takes maybe like a year for most of the changes to set in, and up to 5 years for it to, like, quote unquote finalize. But it all depends on genetics. Like, I thought my voice wouldn't drop until like 3 or 4 months in, but it started dropping at 8 weeks. And I keep a video vlog of it on YouTube. So you know, if you guys want, I can give you guys a link to it so you guys can see how I looked and sound like before. But yeah, there is risk. So it's not something that, you know, I looked it up on YouTube, I looked it up in there, like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, I seriously had to spend a few months thinking, like, am I willing to risk, you know, possible health complications, possible, you know, just unwanted, unforeseen circumstances regarding my health to do this. And when I decided that I would rather risk that than spend the rest of my healthy life feeling miserable on the inside, I was like, you know what, I need to try it. And, you know, there is a chance that I could, you know, people can stop. Like, I have to take testosterone for the rest of my life, every 2 weeks. I can stop at any point in time if I wanted to, but the psychological drawback to having, you know, without the hormones or whatever, and yeah, so it would actually be detrimental to me if I stopped. But if whatever circumstances, financial, family problems, I could. But so far so good. I haven't had a need to. Any other?